Board meeting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Peter Somerville, Town Council.
Edwin Larkin, Town Council.
John Dolce, Town Supervisor.
Bill Ryan, attorney to the town.
Victoria Fraser, Town Clerk.
Any audience comments, please? If not, need a motion to accept October 23rd regular meeting minutes.
I move we accept the regular meeting minutes from October 23rd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. October 28th. The public hearing on the preliminary budget. That was an easy one. I'll make the motion that those minutes are correct.
No second.
All in favor? Aye. No budget modifications or transfers. I make a motion that we pay all signed vouchers and bills.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Reports. The supervisor's report. Couple things that have materialized. This is grant monies, talking about the LLO. I believe I reported that last time that I spoke to the Hike Preserve about that. But this grant monies I'm gonna leave to Ed in his report. I'm sure it'll encompass a lot of what he had to say. The other part later on is about the waste oil furnace. But we're gonna talk about on the whole business, so I don't have much to report unless you guys could remind me of something. But it's been pretty easy. Oh, we won the election. That's something to report. So I'll be on for another 3 years. Vicky, Pete, and Mary Michael will be new, and that's gonna retire. But thank you, Ed, for your hard work. Okay, that's my report.
I move we accept the supervisor's report.
Jason, I forgot to mention you.
right.
You were shooing though, so
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Um, Carol, is this a new year to date?
Yeah.
Okay. It's till the end of October, so we still have 2 months to go. So any questions you guys have, we're actually in pretty good shape. Very few things that we have to do budget amendments for, and they're incidentals. So there is no account report. Bill, the attorney's report.
There's one point that came up between our last meeting and tonight, and that deals with the minimum use charge for water for those that have wells. And I look back over the history of this with Vicky, and there's a couple points that I'd like to bring to your attention. One, there's no water ordinance. So as we navigate the improvements to the water district, we're going to need a water ordinance. There was a resolution adopted many years ago that set the minimum rate for those that were not connected. And Vicky has a a formula that's been used lately, not lately, over the last several years to determine what the minimum use charge should be. So my advice was and is to keep doing it the way you're doing it, but that minimum use charge, among other things, is going to need to be part of your water ordinance when, as you get along with the improvements under section 202B of the town law.
Wait for that.
Well, you don't, but, and maybe we could start it now if you want. I would, we could do it now. And you know, that's a very good idea. And I just didn't want it to conflict with anything that Edwin's doing here, but you know, maybe it's something that we can work in conjunction with each other because it needs to be done. And we really need to come into the 21st century here on water.
What does water ordinance consist of?
Well, it consists of many things. First, there's the definitional part of it that deals with the engineering. The second, another part of it deals with costs and outlining the manner in which the water district bills its users. And cost is divided into really three components. The first is capital charges, and the second is operation and maintenance, and the third area is connection fees. And you develop formulas for the way you want to charge capital that's either on an EDU basis, equivalent dwelling unit, or on an assessed value basis. And most of the time, the capital for water is determined on a EDU on an assessment basis, and operation and maintenance at all times is determined based upon the flow and the gallons. You get a dollar amount per 1,000 gallons. Needs to be developed, and the time and you don't pay your capital, it's going to be a lien on your town tax bill. So all that needs to be put in place, and right now it's sorely missing. So I will tap the pen from the well and draft one, because I've drafted many in my time, and we need to do it here. And while I'm doing that, we got to do the sewer too.
The what?
Sewer.
Okay, so what I believe most people right now are concerned at the most was step number 3, where you said how to bill for the water,
Yeah.
as far as number of faucets or bathrooms, or that's how we're doing it now. So I believe that step 3 is the most important thing, because last year we wanted to change it, and a year went by and we didn't adjust that. Is that I think that's the biggest question that people have.
Well, let me draft something, and I'm going to talk to Edwin about it as I do it, and we'll get moving on it.
Okay.
That's my report.
Okay.
Well, you see, that's part of it. I mean, for the O&M, operation and maintenance, I mean, you gotta learn how much water is flowing through a pipe to a person's house to bill on the dollar amount per 1,000 gallons.
It's the only fair way to do it.
That's correct.
meters is the only way to do it. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fair way. You can't do it, I mean, if you got 4 bathrooms and 2 of them are upstairs and the back rooms.
Doesn't matter.
Never used, that's
You have to measure it through the meter.
absolutely. That
Right,
meter-
but by the time we get to meters, it's gonna be a while.
Well, that's all part of the conversation we have to have.
We tried to get grant money for that, right?
In the past.
In the past.
But today it's a different time because we've achieved hardship status, we've achieved a connection with funding agencies, we've achieved relationships with legislators who may help. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Seems like that can can't be kicked anymore. It's getting stuck in front of us, so
Yeah, we kicked that
We better-
can long enough.
work on it.
I move we accept the attorney's report.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi. Jason, who got reelected.
Good evening, everybody. We'll start with transfer station. Everything continues to run smoothly. You do have September and October's reports in front of you. I do want to draw your attention, according to my ledger book, line 8160445050, which is refuse charges. As of this meeting with the vouchers that are signed today, we will be $2,331 over budget. And that relates to the increase in recycling charges, mattress fees, and then for the first several months of the year, we paid that elevated rate to the landfill of $122. So I would estimate we'll probably be $14,000 over budget by the end of the year. I do anticipate the hauling fees to be $5,000 to $6,000 under budget, so that'll offset some of that, but we will have a deficit there. As far as the highway report, all of our employees are returned to work. We are fully staffed. All of our equipment, with the exception of truck 7, is up and running. Truck 7 should be back together hopefully tomorrow. We had new hinges and pins installed on the rear of the truck. In addition to that, the floor under the apron chain had become rotten out. We had to cut that out and replace it. Some bearings, just an old body that needed some attention. But I think we'll have it back up and going tomorrow. We did purchase a small vibratory roller off Auctions International. We paid $6,285. It's a little asphalt roller, 1.5 tons. Seems to be excellent. We got it home. I spoke with the highway superintendent from the town it came from, and it was replaced just on because of its age. But I think it only has 580 hours on it, and it really seems, I think it's going to fit our needs quite well. So we received a check from Albany County Soil and Water for $25,818 for reimbursement for the grant work we performed. Albany County DPW was up to Miller Road last week, or 2 weeks ago now. Started to do some of the survey work. I was up to the county highway garage today. I spoke with, just has to put the final touches on that. So for the next meeting, I'll have that prepared. Straightforward and simple. So, and I keep you in the loop, Pete, as I get some information on it. Salt and sand shed is full. We are awaiting another 100 tons of salt, but we have plenty for the future. So we're sitting really well with the repair fund as well as salt and sand fund. So we're really going to finish the year out quite nicely. It brings me to, I guess it's down on new business. If you want me to wait till new business, I was looking for some authorization to purchase a plow and sander. I don't know if you want me to do that now or you want me to wait later, John?
When do you wanna buy
What's that?
it? When do you wanna buy it?
Well, I'd like
You
to.
want to talk about the plow?
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, you want to do it
I
now?
would say yes.
Okay. So I received 3 quotes. I'm looking to purchase a Fisher V plow, just a head unit. That will, we have 3 trucks that take Fisher plows. We don't have a V plow at the moment. I'd like to have the V plow to throw on the 1 ton if we get deep snow, to cut through the deeper snow. Plus, if we have a plow go down, it's interchangeable between all 3. In addition to that, we would like to purchase another polycast sander slide in the back, a 17A. We had a tailgate spreader that goes into the category 2 hitch. The bearings are seized and the motor is shot, and I think it's time to say goodbye to it. So the nice part about that, we're gonna put this truck onto 17A. If we purchase another truck, we can strip the sander and wire harness and install it on another truck. I mean, I think the one sander we have, Randy, but that's been around at least what, 10, 12 years, the original.
Longer, at least.
Yeah.
More than 14.
So I mean, they have a long service life. We have had some issues with the original one we purchased, a lot of electrical problems. So, it'd be nice to make sure that if we have some issues during the storm, we can continue. So, I did receive 3 quotes. They are also on the Sourcewell contract, but I would like to purchase the Fisher Polycast sander, and that includes a vibrator kit and light kit from TNT Body King for the total cost of $8,483. And then 9.5 foot XV2, which is just the plow side. That would I'd like to purchase from Toads LLC for a total cost of $7,200, which also includes the rubber snow foil installed. Currently in our equipment fund, there is $76,305, and in our truck fund available to us, there is $264,257. So I think from a financial standpoint, we're sitting quite well and pretty reasonable purchases. So. Any questions or?
Yeah, Toads is much less expensive.
Yeah, and TNT was the cheapest on the sander and stuff. Yeah. I contacted Toads, Dejana, and TNT, so there's 3 quotes there on all 3 of them.
Right, I move that we authorize the highway superintendent to purchase a plow from Toads for $7,200, and additionally purchase a sanding unit from TNT for $8,483.
Second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Alrighty, thank you very much. That concludes my report. I did want to mention also, we received a notice of claim from Verizon. And this is in regards to a phone line on Lewisdale Road. It is my opinion that we are not at fault. We did call UDIG NY. They came out, marked all the lines. We began ditching the resident on the road. Says, I think there's some more phone lines. I called again. They came out. They said everything was fine, no problems. We continued to ditch, and we dug through two phone lines. So I did reach out to Verizon today. I spoke to the manager. He believes it was a miscommunication. He's supposed to get me some documentation to tell us that we're off the hook, but I don't see how we could be at fault. We weren't anywhere near where the lines were marked, so I just want to make you aware of it. So
Can you send it to me?
the notice of claim, yes, I surely can. Alrighty.
Don't they have a one?
All of the phone lines on Lewisdale Road marked out the entire length of the road across from the barn, and that's where we dug into them. So. And I don't know if Verizon is very difficult to work with, so they're terrible. So,
Carol, could you just unplug that for me? Look at that.
alrighty.
I move accept the highway recycling.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Ken. The town clerk.
For the month of October, everybody has numbers, nothing special with that. Tim is not here this evening, but our numbers do agree. I do not have that in writing, but he'll provide that with us the next time. But our numbers did agree. The hunting licenses are in line again, as they have been. There are no major changes there. And just wanted to mention, we did get a little thank you and a small monetary gift from Helen Libby and John Marbour from the town of Westerlo for the senior car. So they are very appreciative of the senior car services, and they sent over a little thank you note and a little monetary gift, what they could afford. And that's the month of November, there isn't a day that that car has not gone out.
So does that monetary gift come into the town coffers? Or is it dispersed?
No, it goes into the town.
Yeah, we deposited it. We didn't buy coffee or candy with it.
Okay.
That's what you're saying. It was deposited. I do have some correspondence from New York State DOT on the Siebert Road speed limit, but that's on the agenda for later. Mary Carney is here from Sustainable Growth, that's also on the agenda for later. So I guess that's my report for now.
Okay.
I'll move we accept the town clerk's report.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Code enforcement.
And like I said, Tim is not here tonight, so.
So no report. Is there an assessor's report?
No report from the assessor either. Both of those will double up their reports next time.
No water sewer report either.
The water sewer.
Is it my turn?
We're gonna get one.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Just a matter of housekeeping. We did have a committee meeting last week, November the 6th, as we typically do. Just a reminder to everyone to use the Arville Water Sewer email address for communicating with the chair and the committee. Myosotis Lake level is still below the spillway. Just a minute to mention that, and outlet that feeds the water district, regardless of its current condition. We are doing, as often as we can, daily inspections, visual inspections of 3 locations at the impoundment dam and 2 around the lake regarding potential hazardous algal blooms. The weather is changing. One would think, with the rain and freezing weather, we might be able to stop that soon, but we were advised by the Albany County Department of Health to continue until otherwise advised. My seat on the committee and the chair, both terms expire at the end of this year. And I am not going to renew them. That being said, it would be, well, I can't think of the right word right now, but it would be sort of unprofessional for me to just walk away. That's not my intention at all. I've met with the Water and Sewer Committee, and we have come to agreements on me providing transitionary support for now, let's say till mid-June of next year, to get the committee up to speed on everything that I've done. Basically have training sessions along with the regular meetings that we have. And the purpose of that is relative to the next statement. And that is that I'm also offering to volunteer, not much different than I am now, but I won't necessarily be officially on. But I want to continue to manage the project. And I will do it through. So I think that would be also pretty unprofessional of me to just drop that on the committee's lap. So I'm pretty invested in that, and that's why we think this can work, because if the committee can pick up all the O&M stuff, all the dailies, monthlies, requirements, I can continue to work the project and stay focused on that and report to the committee, be in touch with whomever becomes the chair, as well as make reports to the committee. And if you choose, I'm happy to come here and provide reports once a month to tell you how we're doing on the upgrade project. This also includes the EPA administrative order. And I feel like I'm pretty invested in that as well. And it's somewhat related to the upgrade project because it's relative to at least one of the actions that we have to take relative to putting a mixer in the tank. And that mixer would ultimately also be in the new tank that would come sometime later, when the upgrade project actually begins. So committee members aren't all here tonight, but quite possibly will be here in the December meeting. Show you solidarity and the fact that we're working together to transition me out and someone else in, but I won't be just disappearing. I'm going to continue to work on the water district upgrade project.
I have a comment or a question.
Please.
So if you're going to be a project manager, that's a very difficult line to keep between being the chairman and the project manager. So I see in the next 6 weeks, for your own sake, is specifically tell these committee members or anything, inform what they're responsible for. Because if you start taking up the slack, you're not gonna be not so nice next time. Next time you just say, I'm done and walk away.
Well,
That's my fear.
I hear you, and I think we have a pretty good plan in place. We had I'll call it an initial transition meeting outside of our regular committee meeting. And along with Jaren at Sustainable Growth and Rebecca Patel, who's working with Sustainable Growth, we put together on a computer, a dashboard basically that lays out all the different areas of responsibility, all the different tasks associated with them. And I believe the plans are for us to nominate members of the committee to take certain areas of responsibility so that instead of the way I chose to run this, where I tried to do everything myself, which isn't really the best or smartest way, but instead I can share my knowledge with everyone and provide guidance on each of these different areas of operational maintenance, and be available to provide support, advise, etc., while I keep focused on the upgrade project, because that's actually, the activity there is actually going to start to spin up as we get closer to the end of this year and the beginning of next year. So comments are duly noted, and I think we're going in that same direction, so you should feel comfortable with that. And I hope everyone else will as well. Regarding your report before, Bill, I'm happy to continue to work with you on beyond the end of my term, but I'm happy to work with you on the, what do we call it?
Water ordinance.
Yes, thank you. But I'll be subordinate to the committee as well, but I'm happy to work with you on a little bit of overload on them because they're trying to get it to everything else.
I get it.
Any other questions on that? It's gotten very quiet in here. So in that regard, there's been a vacant seat on the committee since June. We haven't really worked very hard to fill it, although we have been fishing for candidates. And since I have made this known to the committee, that means in January 1st, we'll have 2 seats open. Good news is we have 2 potential, maybe even 3 potential candidates who've expressed interest, 2 of which actually came to our last committee meeting, who in fact want to join the committee. They're members of the water district. They live in the hamlet. And they're very anxious to get on board. So
Did you show them your dashboard on what they're
I
responsible for?
actually, I did.
And they stayed.
Yeah.
All right,
Um,
so that's a good sign.
yeah. I offered to have a Q&A session with both of them and they both responded. We had some questions and answers, but mostly, regardless of what the answers were, I'm still going to sign up or the responses I got. So, so that, whether or not, I don't know when Becca's term actually ended or ends.
I'll have to check on that.
Would it, okay, so whether or not they have to pick up her term and then start their own in the following year or whatever, it doesn't
One will
matter.
pick up her term.
Right,
and one will start fresh.
right. And so we're working on all of this in concert. And so we agreed to come to the December meeting, this reports meeting, and provide you with who the names of the 2 folks to make recommendations for the 2 folks that'll be joining the committee so that the town can approve. And we'll also have the name of who will be the new chair for the committee at that time. We also have a vacant clerk position. Interviews are in progress. We already have a couple of candidates, and I expect that at that meeting, we'll also be able to announce who the clerk will be. All right, so moving on, the Water District Improvement Project. So the RFQ responses, the committee has reviewed them all. We scored them all, I guess in a manner in which we weren't sharing our thoughts with each other. So it was completely, unadulterated. And we've selected 3 engineering firms as finalists. We're contacting them now with some questions that we've developed to see how they answer. And based on the answers, may have 1 or 2 interviews if it ends up being 2 finalists. And it's my hope that I also make that announcement at the December meeting as to who we recommend to the town board to, I guess that would be a resolution or just a motion to approve our recommendation for the engineer to pick up the design and construction project.
We should do a resolution.
Yeah.
And have part of the 202B file.
Okay. The well siting work group volunteer meeting is Tuesday night. And this, I expect, will be probably our last one. And the whole purpose of this was for the community to come together. And it's a small group of people, but still, we gave everyone the option to join, to participate in a way in which we could unanimously agree on a short list of potential sites, along with the sites that were recommended by CT Mail in the PER. And so we can hand that to the engineer that gets signed up. So it's pretty much happening the way I kind of hoped it would, where we'll have those options for the engineer, and that would actually save money in the project and schedule time in the project because we'll have already done that homework prior to them even joining the project. On Monday, Supervisor Dolce received a letter from the New York State Department of Health that, as you mentioned earlier, actually upped the existing grant dollar amount in the order of over $500,000. So grant that we received in 2024 of 1.7 million and change, and interest-free financing of 750 mil in change for up to 30 years. It's now gone up to a grant for $2,156,070 and interest-free financing for 924,000 and change for up to 30 years. And this is a result of the committee recognizing that the estimated costs were based on 2024 costs. And we realized that this project isn't really going to get started, if we're lucky, by the end of 2020, mid-26, end of 26, maybe even 27. So we'll be dealing with costs that are out there 2027, 2028. And clearly by the award that John received, they agreed. And so we got another $500,000 to add to our project, which I'm extremely excited about. The EPA administrative order, as I said, I'll continue to work on that. I told you that we stalled a bit to not necessarily purchase the mixer and all that right now, but I had a meeting with the mixer company today, as well as the, let me rephrase that. I've reached out for fresh quotes from both the mixer company and Bilco, the people who will create a new hatch for the water tank, so that we can queue that up. Whether or not we have to make the purchase this year or not, I'm not quite sure how important it is yet, but that really has to get done. Sorry for the long report. Thank you for your patience. Any other questions?
Make a motion, we accept the water sewer report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, thank you.
Why do we have a library on there?
They kind of asked, and they said nobody could be here if they could participate, via our YouTube, and I said, we don't do that, but we'd be happy to accept a written report like other department heads do when they're not here. But we don't have anybody, and we do not have a written report either.
Okay, so there's no library.
Correct.
Okay.
Good.
All right, moving on to old business.
Because I took up all the air in the room, right?
Meeting is short enough.
On the old business, we discussed once when Jason wasn't here about the waste oil furnace. During the budget season, we talked about getting new garage doors. That was one thing. The waste oil furnace, I don't think this is gonna make it through this winter.
Let's just buy one. Let's just get a new one.
So I got quotes from different companies. I should have, actually, they just emailed me. So I probably well, we're not gonna have a meeting. Next meeting is not gonna happen.
Not until December.
So I've got quotes from Total Tool was 19,000.
What is that for?
So this is for just the waste oil furnace. Hanging from the ceiling. Black stove pipes, roof snow diverter. 36-inch by 8-inch double wall.
Is it all new chimney or just?
Yes.
I don't think there's anything wrong
This
with
is
it.
gonna be in addition to the one we have. The one we have will still be
Nothing-
running.
Anything wrong with the chimney?
Well, this is what's confusing to me. We were first they were gonna replace the one we had using the existing chimney. Now this quote comes in with a chimney.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the chimney that's on the current.
Right, so I'm thinking thinking about putting it in the second location. So
I was
again,
hoping we'd have one up and running and another one as
Is
a
there a
backup.
breakdown of the chimney?
So we'd need 2 chimneys.
There are 2 chimneys out there now.
there's 2 chimneys, but one
It's been capped off.
has been capped off. So that's a pretty good quote, actually. So I'm just gonna have to delay it again till December.
It just says 1 36-inch by 8 chimney section. Right, quantity 1 36 by 8. I don't know, can it really be that much for one?
Yes,
$465. So it's not, maybe not be, it might be
So
just
it's-
one to connect it.
usually they use a double wall when it's going through the ceiling.
It depends how close to the wall it is, even interior, if it depends how
Oh,
close.
right. So
Okay, so I
That
think
was-
it's just a furnace from one piece of pipe.
that was one. The next one was, Wachowski. His was 20 with a 1,000-gallon tank.
Well, that's worth quite a bit, 1,000-gallon tank.
The tanks, I've got different quotes. 6,700,
Yeah.
that's just the tank. There's also fittings and stuff that are necessary, which is about $750. And Total Tool, wanted 7,500 for the tank. So
With containment? That's,
the double wall, so we don't need containment. That's why we're buying a double wall tank. So again, this is these just came in tonight and I really didn't have, I just printed it, so, we're not gonna be able to agree to this till I find out exactly what they're gonna do. I'm gonna decipher it and if the heater goes down, the only thing we have is an old oil-fired furnace, which is gonna suck out budget money.
Do we want to give him authority to move forward with the purchase without waiting a month? A certain amount? Keep it rolling? Is it that? If there was a meeting in 2 weeks, it'd be one thing, but to leave.
We have the waste oil for the old furnace on now. It is running and operable.
So a couple months is,
It could be fine, yeah.
okay.
I mean, the firebox is rotted, and we've got a cob job patched together, so it needs to be replaced, but it's running and operable.
You decipher it?
does the fuel oil one work?
It does, yes.
So let me do my homework.
May I speak to it, John?
Sure.
My suggestion would be just to replace the unit, have it hung from the ceiling as one step, and don't worry about the oil tank or any of the rest of it, and then go from there. That's step one, just replace the existing unit. The only difference is we have it hung from the ceiling. And then we can worry about if you want to do more from there. When we talked about having the other unit rebuilt, had a new firebox put in it, and possibly use that as a spare heater,
Yeah, we can handle the tank as a separate.
I mean, they can plumb it into the tank we have, it all operates, it's all functional the way it is. And if we want to improve the oil storage in the future, we can do that.
So let me review that quick.
I thought the furnace was around 16,000, which makes sense, because this is with tank.
If it's over 20,000, it has to go to public bid.
75, 23, 2. Can somebody do the math for me? Who's got that phone?
You gotta check the, the furnace and the BTU and see what you're getting.
Well, this from Wachowski is exactly the same,
Okay.
that
So,
one that we have,
what do you got?
5750.
Where we start? Or you want me
So-
to add this? up?
No, I want you
Subtract
to
it.
subtract this, and this, and let me know what the total is.
23,200 minus 1,200 minus 750 minus 5,750. Comes up to 15,500.
Wait, that's not possible. What's this
So
bottom one?
this is 6,007.
Okay, 15.5 is the bottom one?
Yes.
Okay, I agree with that. And
Well, let's get the furnace and get it home.
And that's the same furnace?
total tool is, that's the same, have a clean burn furnace that we
That's-
have.
But,
That's this guy, just,
but
this total tool is $19,000, but that includes stovepipe,
one piece, $500.
double
That's right,
walls.
that's
So it's
the part.
18,500. If you subtract that, it's 18,500.
As far as, I know when you look at the quotes, you can look at best value. If you purchase a unit that's identical to the one we have, then we have interchangeable quotes.
It's gonna be in
Versus
this,
going to a.
These aren't the same furnace though. This just quote, I know
Okay,
this is the
this
same
is-
one as what we have.
this is a little bit bigger, from a different company, which we don't have experience
It's a
with.
different name brand furnace.
Yes, the name brand is Energy Logic.
That's a major brand.
And the other one's a clean burn.
Clean,
It's the same size that we heat with.
CD 2,500.
And then that's sufficient.
and this is a little
It is.
bigger, 3,500.
And that's 15. Without a 1,000-gallon tank, without tank shipping, and without the tank kit, it's 15,500. Take old furnace down, install, the labor is 2,500. That's removing the old one and installing the new one from the ceiling.
So this is about $900. So a little bit bigger more BTUs is about, it's gonna cost us an extra 2,500 with either this Energy Logic or,
Let's get the clean burn.
I was gonna say, this guy comes here,
Yeah, I know.
servicing these things is really important. That really adds value. But either way, it's less expensive. See?
I could say that Jess Watrobs, he's been very responsive if we've had issues. He comes up and works on.
Well, I deal with them too, I know, yeah. Almost jinxed myself. So on a side note, we use the garage door company here. I use them a lot by my shops. We use them here and we're not gonna use them anymore. I don't wanna get sued for, so I won't mention his name, or can I?
No, just
Okay.
be quiet.
Okay. So my point is that right now this guy is great, but people change really quick. So
Clean burn is a good name, though, right?
Yeah,
You better give me the name of a garage door person to call though, if we got trouble, because it's the only number I got, the other guy, so.
they want you.
Jeff that's a clean burn in that,
Yeah,
And 2 bids is okay.
definitely.
If it,
'Cause you
yeah,
don't wanna get a
it's,
clean burn
it's
furnace.
subject to competitive
Yeah.
bidding at 20 grand or less. And you have a procurement policy here,
yeah,
as I recall, and you have to get, my recollection is 2 bids or 3? 3.
If it's over 20.
No,
No, if it's
No.
under,
it's over 10.
if it's over 10, right?
over 10 and less than 20. So, did you get 3 bids?
We got 5 bids from 2 companies though.
You'd be well served to get another bid from a different company, or another company.
Okay.
So
But
you
I
should
didn't,
do that and
The exception is to the procurement is if it's an emergency.
see, right?
Is it an emergency?
I don't believe it's an emergency.
it can be an emergency.
Could be.
You know, we want
I
to
can't predict it.
mitigate risk.
I cannot predict the future.
That's what the engineering firm said. Not that I'll mention the name, but we're mitigating risk. Joke. All right, so,
Does anybody know the name of another company that deals with those? Do you deal with anybody?
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
trying to
that's the
think
other
of,
problem is
I'll
finding a
look and
vendor
see
who
who
actually deals with it.
it does mine. It's not coming off the top of my head, but they serviced it last year. And,
oh,
it's a clean burn, but I'll see. I'll make a note.
If we're going to wait to get 3 bids, we could publicly bid it
That's right.
and do the whole system with the tank and the whole deal and have it done in one shot by one supplier. Have them install the furnace with the tank, and all the hardware, everything, labor, done in one shot and be done with it.
okay, so,
Well,
all right,
we'll hash it out.
yeah. I will work on that
I
then.
mean, basically, publicly bid it is, we advertise it in the paper
Right.
and, you work up the specs that you're bidding for.
Sure,
And then call your suppliers, I mean, you can call them and give them the specs for the bid. And then if it comes back and you get 2 bidders again, we're fine, we can go with that.
Correct.
okay.
So why don't we do that and have the whole deal done in one shot?
So, okay, and so we'll come up, Jason and I come up with exactly, well, what we want then is 1 unit, not 2, right? We want 1 unit. We want 1,000-gallon tank, vertical.
Sure.
If possible, and basically installed, and ready to roll.
Yeah, no, that's just 1 paragraph, it's pretty simple.
And you have quotes for that already.
Yeah.
For all that, for 2.
The only part that we should do, do you know how many square feet that garage is?
Not off the top of my head, and we can figure it out for you.
Because we shouldn't be, we should say enough to
And you
heat,
should go with cubic feet.
yeah, go with the cubic feet.
Well, we can base it on the performance of the last one.
If I had, I would say it was maybe slightly undersized, but it did, it does heat the facility, just runs a lot.
And do we want to include like an extended warranty in the bid?
I don't know what warranties are available, but.
I'm gonna put that down and see how,
All we gotta do is shorten the time that the doors are open.
Even with the doors shut, I mean, in the cold weather, the thing is, it's working. That was part of the issue is that, although it heats it, but it runs for so many hours that it builds up with a lot of ash, so we end up with a lot of, a lot more service.
right, a larger heater, again, we
You
need
might
more
run,
oil.
might cycle less.
More efficiently for sure.
All right,
All right.
I'll continue working on that. Sustainable growth, records room grant proposal. So
Hello.
last time we talked about the records room, we talked about an addition. So it got bigger and bigger, so. Record room grants does not allow for new construction.
No, we were, yeah, we had toyed around with trying to use the particular grant that it's through the state archives to. We looked into it for doing some construction, and they allow you to do some things, but it's more related to like if you have pipes going through there or increasing security, like getting a fireproof door, doing things that would protect the records. We could. There's certain steps they want to see you do first before you, basically they want us to do an inventory first and see what we have, which we have that room full. These are files upstairs in the nice attic room above which is definitely not ADA compliant, getting up in there. But there's records up there. And so really it's consolidating everything, seeing what exists. And when you do the inventory, you also get rid of, they're usually past retention. I mean, Melissa has taken on a project. She's done a lot with the records, Excel sheet, so we know where they are and locating everything. But the inventory, the grant we want to seek would do an inventory, but it hires a records management consultant. Very few people in the state who do this work, but they come in and help. We would hire an inventory clerk who'd do the actual work, unless someone in the town wanted the extra hours. And then they would create like a needs assessment. You know, for example, the files upstairs are not protected. You know, there's like dead mice and things in the boxes, and in here they would do a needs assessment to see what the problems were and what we could do to make the system better. And but then they'd also create a retention schedule that's specific to the town. Right now, it's like hundreds of pages. They would make one that's more specific to what the town's needs are. But they would also create a manual, a records management plan, and then also some procedures to help maintain the records. We wrote this grant last year for Greenville, and we were actually looking at it 2 years ago for Rensselaerville. But we wrote it for Greenville last year, and they received it. So we're kind of just kicking that one off, and they're doing a very similar process. You guys are further ahead, and so the consultant could do a bit more. We have to do an RFQ process as part of the grant application. And this was kind of a question I had as well, but we kind of just talked about the procurement policy. We have to get quotes for the grant. And in Greenville, it worked that we got the quotes, and that was sufficient that once we were awarded the grant, we didn't have to do an RFP and that whole thing, because we're able to just start work right away. This grant requires more work in the application process, and then once you're awarded, you really just start work, which is nice. But the RFQ is when we would approach the consultants that do this work, and like I said, there's very few who do the work, so they get booked up pretty quickly. But we already have a gentleman who met with us yesterday, and he's overqualified, and he's excellent value for money. He tries to keep it under 10,000. That's what he's doing in Greenville as well. And we have an inventory clerk. If no one was interested in taking the hours within the town, we have someone at Greenville who's being trained and doing it there now. So then she could do it up here as well.
Mary, you've done a lot of inventory, right?
Yeah. So we did sustainable growth helped the water district with the sewer and water. And what's good about that is they used to fund these grants. They used to be pretty well funded, like 60 to 70% of the people who applied were awarded. But we just found out that last year it was actually only like 30 to 40. So it's gotten more competitive. But I think we would be looking at around 25,000 to do the whole project. No match from the town. It would all be covered in the grant. But the fact that the water district has spent money on us doing some file stuff, Melissa's time that's been spent on it, these are all things that really help make the town more competitive. You've invested your own resources in it. I think we could write, Greenville was in a similar situation. I think we could write a competitive grant. We wouldn't go for it, even though it's gotten more competitive. We wouldn't advise you to go for it if I didn't think we could actually write a competitive grant. So if there's any questions, but basically what we're here today is we put together a proposal to write the grant. And like I said, it's a little bit more for us to write the grant just because there's so much we have to do up front with the RFQ process. And I wanted to check that hopefully we have to identify the consultant for the application. So I was wondering if an RFQ process, if we need to do a full RFP. Again, having done it in Greenville, it was a professional service. So we were able to kind of
Circumvent?
yeah, because there's very few people who do this work. And, but either way, if it's an RFQ or RFP, we need to do it before we apply. So that's one of the reasons we need to, it just requires a bit more work before we even put the application together.
Do we have copies of the proposal?
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Can I borrow that one? Here you are. I just have two here. So this would just be, so I was asking tonight if, or if you need more time to talk about it, whether you'd like to hire us because we want to get started. It's not due until March, but given the RFP process and the fact that we want to pin down these consultants, we want to start it sooner rather than later.
You would draft the RFP?
Yeah. Yes. So this is our proposal to do the grant writing, prepare the grant. Like I said, having done it in Greenville last year, the total application it's pretty in depth. They really want you to show the need. And I think you guys have a strong argument. I think our application was like 30 pages for Greenville. So there's a lot of information that has to go in there, but we've already kind of started working on estimating boxes and things. And this would be sort of a phase one. Ideally, if the town decided to start moving walls and doing things, what we could do is apply next year to try and get funding. We'd have a better argument to get funding through this for the construction.
Okay.
Thank you, Mary.
All right.
So I'll make a motion to hire Sustainable Growth for the grant proposal for, what does it say, max 2550?
Yeah.
Estimated total. Yeah, maximum.
I'll go with that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Who seconded that?
Hmm?
Here, that's one for you to sign there, John.
I said, I'll go with it.
Thank you.
Didn't mean to say.
We have to do something. So, Mary, what are they doing in Greenville as far as the records room?
They have, so because it was an insurance company, they have a room that has the big filing.
Oh,
And actually, I thought that was standard, so we were gonna try and we thought those would be nice in here, but we were told that they're really expensive and that's not standard. So the consultant came and had a look and he said, yeah, we need some funding to do this, so.
to do what though? That's my
Oh.
question.
So they're gonna so everything that's in here, all the boxes that are in there, Melissa started kind of putting it into a spreadsheet. So the state has like a retention schedule for how long these things should be kept. Melissa started pulling it together, but what it is there'll be an electronic database that has the location of all the files, active and inactive, and when things are supposed to be destroyed. But it's helpful too, because when people call and need things, you know where things are. And then it sets up a system, because every department kind of right now works a little different. plan that when you have staff turnover, for keeping the files stays the same. There's like a
So part of the grant, would that help cover the cost of new shelving or new file cabinets? Or we're doing everything? Or we're going to buy that?
We don't actually, what's in there is actually standard. The shelves are a little bit bigger, but that's kind of the standard. There's still space in some of these. So for this round, it would be just organizing all the files and getting a good record of what you have. Also, what it does is it gives a really definitive picture of how many files you have and how many files you create per year. Then you have the argument to create a bigger space and get new shelving or equipment.
So the consultant that's charging Greenville $10,000.
Yeah,
What is he consulting for $10,000?
so he is, the records management, like, handbook is hundreds of pages. And it's, Melissa will tell you, it's not a fun thing to work with. He's gonna take that and basically cut it down to like 20 or 30 pages based specifically on the files that we need to manage. But that's kind of almost his last step. He's gonna do a needs assessment, like he came and looked at everything. So he'll write sort of a formal report on the state of affairs of the whole system. And then he does a records management plan. So again, anytime you want to get funding to expand a records room, we have a records management plan. It shows that we have a plan in place and we're more ready to take on a construction project. It's just that it's that work that they want to see done before you can progress to other things like buying a shelving or doing any construction. They want to see that you have a plan in place.
So I just want to be clear on the funding.
Yes,
If we get a grant, what is that grant paying for?
it pays for the consultant, the records management consultant. It pays for, and then the biggest chunk goes to the inventory clerk, the person who's going to actually go through and inventory the files. And like I said, that can be, if you have an employee who wants extra hours. In Greenville, there's more files, but it equated to about $10,000 in hours. So we did the same project in Greenville for 25, and then the other thing included boxes, and then Sustainable Growth, I think, charged $2,500 to do the grant administration.
So what is the grant paying for? Is the grant paying to put these papers in order?
Yes, you will get it's gonna go through everything and it creates an electronic database.
I got that.
Yeah.
But does it put it in order? Does that take, instead of having a highway and a water folder in there, is he gonna separate that out?
Yes, and I mean, the things in there should already be, most boxes should already be set. But yeah, they would organize.
So they
have to, yeah,
organize, that's what the grant is paying for.
Yeah,
Is the consultant, the organization
yes,
and the electronic
the database.
file, okay.
The plans and the protocols, though, are also really important for going forward. And that's what the records management consultant.
Okay,
This is all within the space that we have allocated to records man now.
Yeah, yeah,
This has nothing to do with expansion of that.
no.
right.
But if we, again, next year, if it gets less competitive, we might be able to include money, then apply to try and get money to help with the construction of, if you guys do any sort of retrofitting to the building or want to do some construction, we can then use it to do that. But they're going to want to see that this work has been done.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear on that.
No, it's fine.
I'm still good with it.
There's a few deliverables in there. It's basically reports and then, yeah, organizing everything.
It's a first step.
And bringing turnover.
We do have a lot to discuss. We had talked about the possibility of bringing the courtroom in here. This
Right,
is much better for a courtroom than that,
but
and that would give us a lot of room to
But we still need that first step to organize all the stuff. So that's a given, whether we do an addition or not.
I
that-
agree.
that was-
They're separate entities, really.
I just wanted to make sure that's exactly what, that we know what we're doing. Because I still want to ask Randy eventually about this addition. He says they've been talking about it for 25 years. So,
Well, actually, we wouldn't need an addition if we were to consolidate the court.
So the issue that I think Vicky brought up, that there are times where 2 rooms are being used as courtrooms.
They are once a month.
once a month.
Actually, Brian was gonna look into, I think, New Scotland, which is a much bigger court, much bigger town. How they manage it with one courtroom.
It's much bigger, but I don't know how they would still, right.
I don't know how they do it.
All right,
No, I'm for it. I want to discuss the addition, eventually.
you're right, though.
I still would like
Clean up
to,
the records we have, a separate issue.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think, okay.
No.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Speed limit on Siebert Road.
She needs to take this.
This is a letter, dated October 29th. This is in response to your request dated August 15th for speed limit reductions. Siebert Road is unposted and therefore governed by the statewide 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. Crop Road is governed by a speed limit of 40.
Crop Road's in the town of Worcester.
Okay. Based on, this is the regional traffic. Based on our review, we have determined that a reduction of speed limit is warranted for Siebert Road from County Route 352 to the Albany County line. We have written a notice of order establishing a 45-mile-an-hour for Siebert Road. Jason, last time we talked about that, and did you, I thought you reach out to him to say,
Vicky did.
Oh.
We requested 40, you're talking about,
yes,
and you had a response, right, Vicky?
I did, I reached out to Jim Merkel and, from Albany County, and I said, our paperwork that we submitted, we asked for 40 miles per hour. And, I said, was that just an oversight, or is that, as the letter states from New York State DOT, that it was based on, a review and a study? And Mr. Merkel wrote back that it was probably not an oversight, but based on their assessment of the road and driver behavior. They probably thought that 45 miles per hour would provide a sufficient level of safety, and if the speed limit is too low, people won't obey it.
so you have a separate letter?
It's just email correspondence,
That, okay,
because I questioned why the letter said 45,
Right.
and we asked for 40.
do we have a copy of that email? No.
You guys don't know.
So we'll go ahead and post it at 45.
Go ahead and post it at 45?
Yeah, it's his recommendation, right?
So we requested 40, but we, it's been offered as a 45.
Yeah, you have to accept what
Yeah,
they,
exactly.
what they offer.
All right,
All right,
we're lucky to get that.
so what do we don't need a motion for that, right? Or do we? No.
Post it.
Where is the Albany County line? It says from 352 to the line.
Yeah, right, near Makeley's Farm.
All right, moving on to new business. We already did the plow and sander. 2025. Vicky, when do we normally,
Our second meeting would normally give us, yeah, well, it's on Christmas, and we did take care of that at our organizational meeting, we canceled that. So we have to schedule something towards the end of December to kind of incorporate our second meeting with the final meeting, which we have been doing in the past. But we probably need another meeting sometime later in December.
25th is Thursday.
It'd be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the last of the month, then, one of those. We don't wanna do it on the 31st, so.
Is there any other meetings that week that are normally scheduled?
The last weekend,
Yeah, 29th, 30th, 31st.
no,
So we're canceling the next meeting.
So we do Tuesday or 30th.
Yeah, so it's either 29 or 30.
Replace it, just cancel. All right. So then the next meeting's the 11th, right, December.
Yes. We just need a year-end meeting.
So the last meeting would be the 11th of December?
No,
We need one near the end of the month.
So we need one after Christmas.
right, either 29th or the 30th. We're thinking, I mean, I'm good with either date.
Yeah, another one.
Either one. Tuesday's good.
So the 30th?
Yeah. Always better than a Monday.
Okay. So December 30th, 2025 will be the last meeting.
6 o'clock.
Let's do December 30th.
You want to make it, what time?
I don't remember how long this meeting is.
it'll serve as like the second regular
Also be
meeting,
a regular meeting.
but it'll serve both purposes really.
Okay.
What's the second purpose?
The second regular meeting as well as the final meeting.
Right.
Right, but what normally happens
We
at
have
the
to
final?
close out finances, right? We
I'm sorry, Randy?
have to make a motion to close the financial books, don't we, the last meeting of the year?
We can do that at the organizational meeting.
So let's just do it at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Same thing.
Good, a motion for that?
Yes,
Did I miss that?
no, you need a motion.
I make a motion to schedule final meeting for December 30th, 2025 at 7 PM.
Each second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Legal notice for seasonal roads. The town board wishes to inform the residents of the town that the following roads are limited use. It will not be maintained from December 1, 25 through April 1, 26. Gulf Road extension from Gulf Road to the northerly end of state lands. Kenyon Road from this intersection of Roney Road to County Route 358. Roney Road from the last residential structure in from Pearson Road to the intersection of Kenyon Road. Scott Road from the southerly end of state lands to CCC Road. Edwards Hill Road from 500 feet in from State Route 145 to the top of the hill. And Brenner Lane.
It's off Davis Mountain. It's off Davis Mountain.
I make a motion to allow the town clerk to post this legal notice, correct?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. Couple things left. Presentation to the unpaid water and sewer
Yes.
and authorization to re-levy. Let me see.
I have.
Okay.
we have to make a motion to Alderman levy.
Pete, say it again?
No, it's just,
Oh, totally so.
yeah.
Yeah, you should.
I do that
The
a lot.
answer is yes.
Okay.
We actually need two, one for the water and one for the sewer.
So I'll make a motion to re-levy the water, the unpaid water rents.
Now you make a motion authorizing your signature to the, for the re-levy of, water payment arrears pursuant to section 193 3D of the town law of the state of New York. That's the motion.
So moved?
Yep.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
And the second motion is allowing the supervisor to sign the notification of unpaid sewer charges pursuant to town law section 193 3D.
So moved?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Very good.
Thank you.
Authorization to sign the Laserfish proposal, minutes from 2024 and 2025. Vicky, there were some discrepancies in the pricing of this. Did they ever,
They had, yeah, this is an estimate. Their setup is the most comprehensive. So just because we had more years last time, prices have gone up too. They had some typographical errors. They had two thumb drives where we only had one. They had the years for the minutes that were incorrect, so they tidied that up. I did check the details on that. But their price is the same
it's $1,500.
for 2024 and 2025 minutes. And they put that on the searchable, removable thumb drive so that if we need to look something up, we can type in a search word and it will find wherever that comes up.
We have this for,
We have it already back from 1960 through 2023.
and you don't, whenever we talk about minutes, because the current ones,
Yeah, it's just an update of what we already have. And they would add 2024 and 2025 minutes to that thumb drive.
so this is something that we'd probably be doing on a regular basis. Like maintenance. So, I mean, we need to do it. But I'm wondering if we gave them those minutes annually, what the charge would be. So, any questions? What do you guys think? I mean, it's $1,500 from 1960.
They're already done.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, from 1960 to 2023, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, those are all
So now it'll be
done.
to 2025. That's awesome.
Just 2 years worth.
2 years.
I think it's necessary, so I'm gonna make a motion to sign the Laserfish proposal for the minutes of 24 and 25 for $1,500.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Anyway, your name.
Any other audience comments?
Sorry, just related to that. That is something that, going back to the record
Yeah.
inventory,
if we have the inventory in it, once that's all done, and we have a good, solid picture of everything that's here, we could then get funding to help with digitization of not everything, because you don't need everything, but the important documents. So that could also be part of phase two is digitizing and helping pay for exactly that kind of stuff in phase two.
Oh, okay.
Very cool.
Cool. Sign it. Any other audience comments? I make a motion to go into executive session, discuss labor negotiations.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carried. Okay, guys, thank you.